Don't hate me, but after 30 days of owning this Golfr, I've realized something. Best doesn't always mean better. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Of course, I'm here in my 24 Golfr, which I've had for 30 days. And I actually learned a lot about not just the car, not just about cars, but I learned a lot about myself that I didn't expect to learn. Best does not always mean better. And when you look online and people have such concerns about this or that, and it becomes like a focal point, I think they really lose sight of the major objective of why are we buying cars? Why are we buying these types of cars? Why are we buying performance cars, right? We know why people buy Priuses and trucks, and it's purely for utility purposes. But you look at people that buy Golfrs or GTIs or Camaros and Mustangs. We use it for utility purpose, but we also do it for pleasure because we love these cars. We're car enthusiasts and we get something exciting out of it. You're not just driving to the store in some like grocery getter. You have something that's fun to go to the store to get your groceries or something like that. So 30 days ago, I bought this Golfr manual and I learned more about it than I have in the car total yet. So I gotta say, I'm only at like 400 miles and I'm trying to get the break-in period done. Like, trust me, but I just don't drive it that much. So a few key points that I have learned about myself and just like car enthusiasts in normal. So I have a Camaro ZL1 in my garage, a 23 manual, and I have here my 24 manual Golfr. So this is my daily car, if you want to put it that way. And then I got my track fun car in there. Well, the lines got really blurred really quick, like quick. And I didn't mean them to. What I mean by that is how much enthusiasm I actually have for this car. Like, I'm actually excited to start it up and go drive it around town and get my dog in it. And when I look back at the car consistently, I look at the mods for this car and I can't believe how many mods there are for Golfs, dude. Like this is insane. Like, there is so many aftermarket companies, so many parts, so many things you could do just to the stock car without even like really spending money and get a lot out of this car. I seriously did not expect that. I did not expect such a dramatic like pull on that. I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed, and it makes me excited. And that's where I kind of come through with kind of a comparison of it against the ZL1, is that it's two completely different performance cars, but does it reward the driver in certain ways? I laugh when I drive this car. I don't even get on it very hard because it's still braking, but I laugh, dude, because it's just a fun car to drive. It's so light on its feet. It's ridiculous, and I have a lot of fun with it. When I drive my Camaro, I do laugh at its acceleration and go, holy crap, that is just ridiculous. And I have a lot of fun, and it's a great car as well. I feel the same amount of enthusiasm in it. And that's an interesting concept because this car's 45K and that car is 70K. So the driver output, as far as what I get out of it, if I were to measure my level of enthusiasm and excitement, is really quite equal, which is, it's something to say, right? Kind of interesting. So with that said, of course, it's really fun to drive. This car is a blast to drive, even just around like town. The Camaro is a heavier piece, right? And you get all the sounds, supercharger, the exhaust, the authority on the road. And that has a lot to do with it. It's a different experience. I'm not going to say which one's better or worse because I don't think there's an answer for that. For an all-around performance car, like, period, nothing else, of course the Camaro, but it's 25K more to buy new, or was. And like, of course it's going to be faster. Of course it's going to be all these things that it should be because it cost a lot more. So, I mean, like right? So another thing is with the Golfr that I've learned is convenience. And this is something I didn't get over Camaros. And I've been driving Camaros since 2020. And like having a back seat that's a lot more usable for my dog, or a hatch that is awesome to do grocery shopping and put boxes in and stuff like that, has really come a long way. And when you drive a Camaro, you see these things. I mean, two-door coupes are always just, right? But it kind of starts blurring the lines where I can have a fun-to-drive car that can be convenient and serve its purposes, where there's a fun-to-drive car that is freaking amazing, but it doesn't serve like really much of a convenience purpose at all. I mean, it just depends how you live your life and what you kind of do. But like, do I want to start up my ZL1 to go drive half a mile to the supermarket? Like, I don't. I know cold starts and short wear and drives are harder on cars. Even with the Golf, I'll warm up the car, go park it and let it run a little bit more, or just go do like a little loop before I go and park it and stuff. I don't really worry about door dings as much. I park in the back like I do everywhere, but it's just like it's a different element, right? But the convenience is just amazing there. The light clutch, the light steering and slow speeds, heavy when moving. It's got a variable like steering rack. It pulls you to what you need to do. It's a good all-arounder. It's a good daily, but it's also a good performance car. I can't say the Camaro is a good daily, and I'm not saying the Camaro is a bad car or a bad daily. I'm just saying for the way I use it, for the utility that I use it, the Camaro is a very purposeful car, and it does what it does really well. The Golf R is a very purposeful car, and it does everything really good. Now, is it as good of a performance car as my ZL1? Again, no. But does that matter? I don't think it does. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing that I've come across as like just makes me excited about this Golfr is how few of them there are on the roads. I don't see Golfrs a lot around here. I know like if you're in Canada or like another country, you see these a lot, but here in the US, especially like Southern California, we don't see a lot of these. I see GTIs here and there. Maybe not a lot, but Golfrs are like really quite rare in this area. I actually see more Camaro ZL1s than I do Golfrs. I get it too, and I understand why. And that doesn't mean that the ZL1's not unique. You don't see a ton of them. It's like with the SS1LEs or even like variable trims, right? Of even variable trims of like, the Mustang Mach 1s. So what I'm kind of getting at is I like unique cars. I like cars that are, yes, they are factory made, but they're factory made uniquely for you to go do whatever you want. I always like the Mustang Bullets because of that, or the Cobalt SS Supercharged I had back in the day was a unique car. The turbocharged was really good too, but you didn't see a lot of them. It makes like a unique value to it, and I think having like a niche car is probably one of the best things ever to buy. I gotta admit, I drove a Honda CR-V for 4 years, and in a lot of ways I loved it because it was just so convenient. Was it bland and boring? Oh yeah, man. It was bland and boring. It worked well for my dog. It worked good for me at the time for groceries and gas and maintenance. It was like pretty much barely anything. It was kind of crazy, but did it like feed my car enthusiast soul? Like, no, it's not going to. So you kind of want to find something that does it all right? You don't have to. You can have different worlds. You can have that boring car and a fun car. And what I found out for myself personally was I ended up driving that boring car more often. I ended up driving the boring car because I do more boring stuff typically that fits that better. I could drive the Camaro to go get groceries, but I gotta get it back in the garage. I gotta make sure it's parked in a certain place, get them in. It's a little bit more of a chore, I would say. as compared to just like waking up in the morning and going and driving on the canyons, which is what it's really like built to do, or head out for a track day and just go womp on it. I mean, that's really where it sits. So I found that I kept driving the Honda everywhere, man, and it was pretty boring. I didn't really care. I'll say that. Like, maybe I've come to a point where I'm okay with boring drives, but it doesn't like get me excited, or where I'm about to leave to go to the next place. I'm not like excited. I'm just like, okay, I'm going now. And that's fine if that's what you're looking for. But as a car enthusiast, I think it leaves like a little bit of like something in you that you're like, man, this would be a lot more fun on this on-ramp if I had a blank, or, you know, a Camaro, a Golfr, or man, I wish I could roll my gears right now, or oh man, I wish I could just full throttle it and drive hard. It's just, man, it wasn't there. So another thing I noticed about this car that I didn't expect to like understand is this is my first German car. I didn't know about a lot of these features. Like when you turn left, there's a light that points to the left so you can light up the area that you're turning into. It works really good for like parking lots or tight areas at night. Matter of fact, I want that on every car now. I fell in love with that. I wish my Camaro had that. I wish every car I drove had that, because it's just a simple little thing. It's the convenience, right? It's just not something I expected. I also got to admit, this interior with the lighting, I know German cars have always done the lighting interior good. Like you look at Mercedes, Audi, obviously here we are in the Golfr. Their interiors are like tits, dude. And American cars, I feel like, have been behind on that. I think lighting is awesome. I love lighting in a car. The Mustangs did really good with the premiums, where it has so much lighting, the floor, the edges, it kind of BMW-esque. And I love that about my previous Mustang. I love that about this Golfr a lot. And that kind of comes down to kind of like my final thing that I've learned, and I didn't expect to have this. I didn't expect to recognize this, but this car only goes for 45 grand, and depending on where you're at with your finances and stuff, this could be a lot of money. This could not be a lot of money. I get it. After paying off the Camaro ZL1, I learned that I actually have as much fun and enthusiasm for the Golfr as I do for my Camaro. And there's 25 extra K just sitting over there. And sometimes I go like, can I sell the Camaro? Well, sure, I can sell the Camaro. I own it. But I don't want to. I have a connection with my dad on that car because he had a red Camaro when I grew up. And the red Camaro is that to me. That's my connection back to him. And, you know, he passed away. I talked about that in like my very first video on this channel was about why I bought a red Camaro SS1 LE. And the truth that comes behind it was, there was variable reasons, but the big lingering one was, yeah, it connected with me with my dad when things were cool when I was young. Well, the Golf doesn't do that. That just is what it is. My dad never drove a Volkswagen Golf, ever. GTI, Golfr, nothing. The car thinks I'm talking to it. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have to make a connection. Maybe I could make a connection for somebody else with the Golfr, right? But that has a lot to me on that, is the sentimental value for that car, and how that sits on me is a big reason why I still have it. I bought the Golfr to be a daily car, and I didn't realize that I was going to enjoy this so much. I didn't know that this car was going to be this much fun for me, or this convenient, or it turned into a car where I actually want to drive more often. Maybe I bought too many Camaros. I have 3. And there's no bad thing to say about the Camaros. That's how good they are. That's how good they are, man. And I just found out that I really like this Golfr, and I find myself wanting to drive it more often. I find myself like wanting to be in it more often and play with it and buy mod parts, which I'm trying to control myself, but I didn't. No, I did not. I have already purchased stuff to install in this car. and I fully plan to do it. So what that comes down to is like essentially what the cost of the car. For me, this is a car I could have paid off and just play with right now, have no car payment and not even think twice about it if I wanted to. But instead I have that money kind of consolidated into the Camaro and for what I use it for. And it just kind of sits in the garage a lot, especially with wintertime and the rain and the weather that's been out here has been really, really bad with the fires and whatnot. So I feel a little bit better just using the Golf. The Golf sits outside. I don't like that. But I also bought white for that reason. And I think I made the right choice. So there's just such a cost difference. And when I really, really enjoy this car so much, like more than I thought I would, it just kind of like opens up my mind a little bit to what is the best doesn't always mean better. Well, the truth is you buy cars are tools at the end of the day. They could be luxury items. They could be whatever you want them to be. But to me, a car is a tool and you use it for its built purpose. So if you buy a performance car, drive it like a performance car, right? Or if you buy a slow car, drive it like a slow car, you know? Use it as its intended purpose and it's going to treat you right and just maintain them. Granted, I've only been with this car for 30 days and I'm in love with it, but I found that, like, no, you don't always have to go up in the hierarchy of vehicles to truly enjoy and be excited and love what you have. You can stay with a SS Camaro. You can stay with a GT Mustang or a V6 Mustang. Like, you don't have to go GT 350 or GT 500. Like, you don't have to climb the hierarchy. I think people in the car community put a lot of emphasis on that. And I don't know if it's like completely warranted. I think whatever you buy that does it for you is the right car. You don't have to go blow $100,000 to have the best car in the world, because I'll tell you right now, you take in your $100,000 car, whatever you got, to the dealership, they're going to treat you the same as the $40K car that goes in a dealership. They're not going to bow down to you. They're not going to like be like, oh my God, you got the fastest car. Maybe they'll compliment the car and all the techs will be staring at it. That definitely happens. But so, I mean, the truth is, car enthusiasts buy these cars not to impress others, but to impress ourselves. We buy performance cars because it impresses us. We don't care about the other person, but I will tell you, like, if you went from, let's just say, a Golfr to a GTI, or you went from a GT 500 to a V6 Mustang, people will go like, well, why'd you do that, bro? People will question why you did it, because to the majority of people, that's what they call it, downgrade. And I don't think there's such things. I think you buy what you have fun with. I had probably my most favorite car I've ever had, because of the fun I had in it, was my 05 Cobalt SS Supercharged. And a lot of that has to do with my learning experience in the car. It's fun to learn, and it's fun to figure out things and learn to drive. And once you get up there and you're already doing it, for me, like, when the learning kind of stales out a little bit, that's kind of where like the enthusiasm kind of stales out a little bit. So it's fun to find a car where you could balance its limits and everything. I don't believe in the upgrade or the downgrade mentality when it comes to cars. A salesman will do that. Well, you ready to upgrade? You ready to downgrade? Because he's prying on your emotional senses, and your like social hierarchy of where you are at with cars. But I have to tell you guys, I don't think people should be using upgrade or downgrade, because it's what the car does for you is what you want it to do. So I don't want to be the guy saying like, hey, throw out everything, but I'm just saying maybe like we need to touch grass a little bit, bros, and figure out like what it is that really makes us happy about these cars. Is 0 to 60 in 3 seconds more fun than 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds? Maybe. Maybe. But like, what about all the other stuff? What about all the other variables, right? I mean, not everything is speed related. And once you get to a certain speed, anything above that is just like ridiculous. So it's kind of where you want to be and how you want to do it. My take on this though, my eventual video, my take on this whole car and my experience and everything is that I found that I'm in love with this Golfr, and I didn't expect to like this as much as I thought I was going to. I thought I was just going to have a nice, fun daily driver, and I found that I have a fun daily driver hot hatch that can really just do it all and hit all my senses and still be like something I could just cruise in and not really worry about. So at the end of the day, is best always better? I'm going to say no, it's not. I'm going to say what's best is what's best for you and what you choose. And don't worry about what other people have to say or what their impressions are or where they come from. Because, hey, if it works for you and it fits your cost, it fits your needs, it hits your car enthusiasm note, you know, you don't have to overly worry about it or stress about it, or, you know, it doesn't become like a burden on your life. It doesn't become a burden in other aspects of your life. Key point there. Then you found the right car for you, right? If you can find a GTI used that fits your price range and it does everything you want it to do, that's probably going to be just as good for you. That's my take on this, guys. Love my Golfr, love my cars, and I'm just having a blast. Anyways, if you want to check out more videos, like, subs, comments, hit the bells, all those things are always very much appreciated. I definitely want to hear your guys' opinions, what you think about the whole hierarchy of upgrades and downgrades. Like, am I totally off bat? Like, tell me. Tell me. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Peace.